I'll use a sphere for the disk. I delete the bottom half of the sphere and scale it along the z-axis to flatten it. In object mode, I set the origin to the center of the disk and then move the disk to the world origin. I rotate the disk around the x-axis 90 degrees. In the UV editing workspace, I select the UVs of the disk and scale them to twice their size along the y-axis. And then move them to take up the entire UV space. I export the disk as an FBX. For the object type, I select Mesh, and for the smoothing, I use Face. I'll be using a Voronoi texture I downloaded from FreePic. The link is in the description. Now please note this downloads as an EPS file, so you need to convert it to a PNG or JPEG. There are plenty of free converters online. The only other thing I did to this image was take it into Illustrator and export it as a 2048 by 2048 square image. You can do this after converting it to a PNG in any software. I import both the disk and the texture into Unreal. I drag the disk into the level. I create a new material and open it up. Then I set the blend mode to translucent and the shading model to unlit. I drag in the texture and connect the red channel to the opacity input. I add a constant 3 vector and connect it to the emissive color input. I right-click on the vector and convert it to a parameter, renaming it to color. And I change the color to white. I add a panner node and connect it to the UV input of the texture. I add a scalar parameter, naming it speed x. I duplicate this parameter and rename it to speed y. For both of these parameters, I changed the slider min to -1 and the slider max to 1. I add an append vector node to combine these two parameters. I then connect the append node to the speed input of the panner. I duplicate these 5 nodes. I add a multiply node and connect the textures together. I duplicate this multiply node and connect the multiply node, connecting this multiply node to the opacity input of the texture output. I apply and save the material. I make a material instance of the master material and add it to the disk. I change the speed and color of the material instance. To change the emission strength, change the value to 1 or above for the color. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video about making animated shaders in Unreal Engine 5, you may enjoy this video. Have a good day.